Hey, what's up, guys? So, here we are. It's the end of 2021. We've had a lot of releases for SH Figuarts. Some were better than others. Some were really good. Some were really bad. We're not going to really go through the bad ones. We're just going to put my favorite ones on the list. The list is pretty subjective. It's what I like. You may not agree. You may think your list is better. You may have your own preferences, and that's fine. That's why we're all here sharing our opinions. So without any further ado, let's get into my list. Let me know if you agree, disagree, whatever. So coming in at number 10, we have Launch. Launch is one of those figures or characters that we've been waiting for a while. We never knew if we were going to get her, and we finally got her. Being a fan of Dragon Ball, it's nice to get more characters for that particular portion of the show. There's a lot of Super stuff, a lot of Dragon Ball Z stuff. So it's nice to get another Dragon Ball character. Also, it's nice to get another female character, because I had Bulma. She's the only girl in the line. It's nice to round it out with this. She's not the most articulated character. She doesn't have the best sculpt, but she is one of the more known characters to come to the line that was missing. And if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, like I said, you kind of need her in your display. She'd go good with Tien, or just next to your Master Roshi or young kid Goku, all of that stuff. So she's coming in at the number 10 spot. And coming in at number 9, it's Bardock, the father of Goku. So it's a figure that a lot of people wanted, and he doesn't appear in the show a whole bunch. I haven't seen Super too much. I know he does appear in it. So I know him more from like Dragon Ball Z and from the movies, which they only show little bits and pieces of him. But I still wanted him. I think he's a dope figure. He looks really good. It's accurate to the anime, and they did a good job. Has a good sculpt. He's a bit buffer than Goku. I like the shiny armor plate. Could have used a bit more shading, but overall I think it's a good figure. It was breaking on a few people because of the tight bicep joints, but I didn't have that issue, so he actually does make my top 10 list, and I think it's really good. So next up, in the number 8 spot, we have Hit. This is a figure I was not going to pick up. I was actually going to skip it, and then for whatever reason I just bought it. And it has a lot of good things and it has a lot of bad things. It poses really well. It's so fluid. It moves around and feels good in your hands. There's like no joint stickage. It just does what you want it to. But the problem is that the skirt falls off way too easily, and then those kind of pads on top of his shoulders and on the elbows, they move out of place. So every time you pose them, you got to be repositioning them and stuff like that. It's kind of annoying, but it does work really well. Also, that floating belt does not look great when the skirt is off. It looks a little weird. But other than that, it's really good. It looks how he should look. It's a good representation of the anime, and it's a good figure. So he makes the number 8 spot. So coming in at the number 7 spot, we have Raditz. And Raditz is a figure that everybody wanted. He was kind of a surprise release. He just came out of nowhere, and then not everybody got to get him, I don't think. I was lucky enough to pick him up, and I think it's a great figure. He's not the most articulated. He's kind of big and bulky, so you wouldn't expect him to be able to pose super great, but you can get him into a variety of poses good enough. He has a good amount of expressions. I like the way they did the hair too. You can actually move it out the way so you can look up and stuff. It's not just in the way how some other figures with long hair have had before. So it's a great figure. He's going to come in at the number 7 spot. Helps round off my 3 Saiyans. Perfect. So I really like them a lot. Like I said, he wasn't the craziest in terms of articulation. He could have used a bit more shading, but other than that, I'm really happy to have this figure. And he comes in at the number 7 spot. So coming in at the number 6 spot, we have Kid Gohan. Another figure that everyone wanted, everybody's been waiting for, and they did a great job in executing it. Looks just like the anime. perfect. They even give you two options. They give you the little bowl cut head, and then they give you the longer hair, so you can pull off different sagas or different eras of the show. Whatever you're trying to do, it'll work for that. And they used this body before on the Kid Goku and the Kid Gohan. Kid Krillin. But I think it's a little different this time. I'm not positive, but I feel like you can make this guy a little taller or a little shorter to fit in whichever era you want. And I don't know if you could do that with the Kid Goku or Kid Krillin. But yeah, they did a great job with it. And he comes in at the number 6 spot. So coming in at number 5, we have Piccolo. And this is a figure we needed a remake of very badly. He hasn't been out since like 2011 or something like that. That's when I got mine, right around there, maybe 2012, I forget. But that figure wasn't that great. It was good for its time and it was pretty accurate, but compared to this new one, just the face prints and the colors, it just matches way better. The size is one of the most important things too. The first release was just too small. This one's a bit bulkier and a bit taller, so he fits in scale wise a lot better. And you get a lot of display options with the turban. You get the cape, you get the turbanless head, so you can pretty much pull off any look you're going for, and it's a great release. So he comes in at the number 5 spot. Coming in at number 4, it's First Form Frieza. And this is a nice figure to get. We were waiting for this. Obviously, we only had the final form, or actually now the 4th form. It used to be the final form. So it was nice to get the first form of Frieza, and it's great that they included the pod. You can actually have his full body too. You can separate the legs and put him on the pod, or you can have his full body with full articulation. He has different expressions. He brings a couple of effects pieces. He brings like a ball, a little energy ball. And yeah, it's great. It's a good release. It fits in with the Ginyu Force that we completed this year as well. So it's great for your Namek Saga display, and he fits in perfect with the line. Great scale, all of that. I think it's pretty much torn right out of the anime. Looks perfect. So he comes in at the number 4 spot. So coming in at number 3, we have Raccoon. And this is a big hulking figure. It's huge. He helps finish out our Ginyu Force, which is perfect. We got most of those guys this year. And just look how big he is. He looks like he was ripped straight out of the anime. They did a great job. His hair's good. He's got his scouter. It's real big. He can articulate well. Only problem with him is that the shoulder pads and those little armor pieces at the waist, they fall off quite a bit. So you got to be careful with that. But you can pose him great. He feels good. He just moves great. I think he's one of the better releases for sure this year. So he's going to come in at the number 3 spot. So coming in at number 2, it's Bardock. And of course he was part of a 2-pack with Bardock and Goldo. I never thought he was going to be at the top of the list like this. Just the thing is, he poses great. He looks just like the source material. And they improved upon the shoulder pads falling off, which is what Raccoon's problem was. They fall off way too easily. These are a lot more sturdy, and they can still fall off, but you can pose them without having to worry about it as much. And if you're careful, it really doesn't bother you. And he also doesn't have it around the waist, which is great because it frees up his legs to do more stuff. So due to the fact that he articulates well, and he looks just as accurate as Raccoon does to the source material, he actually beats him out by just a bit. So he takes the number 2 spot on this list. And coming in the number 1 spot is Cooler. And I don't think that's much of a surprise to anybody that got this figure. It's really good. They did a perfect job just nailing the sculpt. He looks like he jumped right out the show. He's very sizable. The scale is just about right. He's got a lot of extra details like that they don't add to a lot of figures, like the shading, and he's got little line scratches on him, and just the shiny armor. You know, they went all out. He's also got a matte finish. They did pretty much everything you want to this figure, and he really stands out on the shelf. I think out of all the figures that we've gotten this year, he probably resembles the source material the most. And it's a character that probably most people weren't expecting to get because he's not canon in the story. He never comes out in the show. He's more of a movie character, which we haven't really got much of. So hopefully this is the start of a new trend and we start getting other characters from some of the movies and some of the more obscure things that we don't normally see, because I know there's a bunch of cool characters that people would like to get. So that's pretty much my top 10, you know. And other figures that didn't make the list, the reason is there's a few things I have pre-ordered that just never came, so I'm not gonna go ahead and put them on the list, even though some of them are probably better than the ones that made this list. Like Tien probably would have made this list, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, or the Kaioken Blue probably would have made the list, but I haven't got them yet. They never arrived, so I'm not even going to take them into consideration. I'm just going to talk about the ones that I did get, and this is pretty much it. I left Nappa out of the list only because it's more of a re-released, and it did have different colors and stuff, but it wasn't different enough to put it in the top 10 for me, even though it was one of my favorite figures of the year as well. I just went for more of the newer stuff. So yeah, that's my list. I hope you guys like it. If not, let me know what you agree with or what you disagree with. Let me know what your top 10 is. And yeah, have a good day. Hit subscribe if you liked it. Leave a comment if you want. Take care. Peace.